That got on my last nerve. Woo! Hello you guys, my name is Jordan and welcome back to Jordy is Reading. Today I thought we could kind of recap what I've been reading at the beginning of this year. That way, once we get to the end of March, I can just do a March recap. That way it won't be so long and that way it won't be so many books. But I thought that would be fun to do. So let's get started. So the first book I want to talk about is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I talked about this in a previous video, but I didn't really get into the specifics of it. Marissa Meyer wrote the Lunar Chronicle series, which is fairy tale retellings. So think like Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Little Red Riding Hood, Snow White, things like that. Heartless is kind of based on Alice in Wonderland. It doesn't follow Alice, but it is based in Wonderland. So it follows a young girl named Catherine. She actually is courting, I guess, the king, and she's not a fan of that. She just wants to open a bakery with her best friend, but that's not possible. Her parents are not very open to that idea. That's not what a lady should do. A lady should apparently marry the king. The ending of Heartless is one of my favorite book endings that I've read in a really long time. I won't spoil anything for you, but I did not see that coming. I did not expect that to happen. I did not want that to happen. But here we are. It happened. There's characters like the Jabberwocky, who is renamed the Jabberwock. There is Catherine. There's Hatta, who is the Mad Hatter. There's the Cheshire Cat, of course. Peter Pumpkin Eater is actually in this book. And the King Jest, who is the court jester. And Catherine. Did I already say Catherine? I don't know. But it's a great book if you like fairy tale retellings. It's a great book if you like Marissa Meyer in general. If you like Alice in Wonderland, this gives a really good insight into Wonderland and why Wonderland is the way it is now. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. It was a really quick read. It's very short. Well, it's not very short, but it's shorter than what I normally read. So it went very quick for me. But it kept me interested the whole way through. I really enjoyed it. The next book I want to talk about is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. So this book follows a couple who is going on a trip to kind of save their marriage. They've been having some issues, so they took this trip to see if it would kind of save their marriage. I mean, it was a kind of typical romance, kind of mystery thriller book going on. It's weird. The husband, the main male character, he has face blindness, so I thought that was a really cool aspect to kind of throw in there. But every other page he says, I saw her do it, or I saw them. You didn't see them do it, you have face blindness. That got on my last nerve. Face blindness. Like, you don't, unless they looked, the body looked like the person or whatever, you don't know who it was. You have face blindness. You can't see their face. So that kind of annoyed me. I felt the ending of this book, like I said, I'm not going to spoil any of these books for you guys, just in case you do want to read them. The ending of this book felt very unnecessary, and it just left me with more questions than answers. And I feel like I had more answers before the last chapter, or maybe it was the epilogue, I can't remember. But I just feel like that was unnecessary and just opened more doors that didn't need to be opened. My favorite character in this book is Bob. I was kind of upset that Bob kind of got cut out like halfway through. He was my favorite. I enjoyed him a lot. I won't tell you who Bob is. Okay. The next book I have written down is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This one gave me major Agatha Christie vibes. If you've ever read Agatha Christie, 10 Little Indians, really felt like that really mysterious kind of a murder that needs to be answered kind of book. But it flips between present day and the past, which, I mean, the past was like a week before this, so not really like past, but it flips between present and past, but it's easy to follow. It's about a couple getting married. They go to this island. They bring all their friends. They're going to get married, whatever. Having everyone there together brings up a lot of history and kind of unanswered questions, and then somebody dies. Yeah, and they got to figure out who done it, why they done it, all that good stuff. About halfway through this book, I wanted to give up on it. I wasn't really feeling it. It kind of lost its Agatha Christie feel for me, but then it picked back up at the end. So if you do read this, don't give up. It's worth the ending. So the next book I want to talk about is actually a duology. I am currently reading the second book in this duology now, but I do want to talk about the first book, which is Sky Hunter by Marie Lu. Marie Lu actually wrote the Legend series, Legend, Champion, and Prodigy books. I can't remember which one comes first, but she wrote those books. I enjoy Marie Lu. I feel like she's a good young adult author. Sky Hunter follows a young girl named Talon who is kind of like a ninja in her country's like army. That's the best way I can describe her. But Talon actually has lost her voice. She cannot speak, so she uses sign language. And I haven't really ever seen that in a book before, so I thought that was really cool to kind of try to incorporate that and kind of explain it to the reader in a cool way. But she's fighting for her country. They capture a prisoner of war, and she steps in to be like, hey, you can't execute this guy. He knows something. So she is forced to become his partner, his ninja fighting partner, to go against the country that he came from or whatever. So it's really high-paced, but it's weird because it felt really slow to me as well. The very first chapter in this book blew my heart to pieces. So be forewarned if you read it. But it's very good. It's very science fiction-y. There's a lot of experiments going on. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening. But I really enjoyed this. And the last book I wanted to talk about today, which is trust me, it's the very least. It was not high on my ranking. I actually did not finish this book. Is The Southern Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. So normally what I do when I read books is I have the Libby app on my phone, and I just check out the book and read it from my phone, or I read it from my tablet. For some reason, the book version of this was not available, so I actually got the audiobook and started listening to it. It is there's one scene in particular that is very, very graphic. And I am a very mental reader. I picture what I'm reading in vivid detail. And having this as an audiobook did not help this situation, because that made it like 10 times worse. This book made me physically sick. Specifically, this one scene. I don't know why there was so much detail needed to be put into this scene. It really could have been pulled back a lot. And having the main character be a woman just, I don't know. It just felt really wrong to me. Really, really graphic, really gory, really detailed. And I don't feel like it needed to be. Because I kind of wanted to finish it. But I don't want to have to read more stuff like that. I don't want to have to put my mental brain through that. I don't want to have nightmares. I'm not going to have nightmares, but I don't want that mental image in my brain. And it's seared in there for a while. It's going to take a while to get that out. But that one was actually, I didn't finish it. I could not finish it. There was no possible way I was going to be able to finish it. It was a very, very graphic. So those are some of the books that I read in January and February. Like I said, I will do another kind of wrap up at the end of March about books I read in March. That way you guys can kind of stay up to date on what I'm reading, and if you like any of the books that I've read, then you can read them as well. I actually mentioned in my mystery book unboxing video that I ordered another mystery box, and that is supposed to show up soon. So that will be the next video that I film, and then I will do the March wrap-up video. If you guys have any suggestions of what I should read next, or any of your favorite books that you think I should read, leave them in the comments down below. If you liked this video, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe. Share it with your friends. Okay? Alright, you guys. I will see you in the next video.